Hello everybody, today you have your expression study guide. So, solve each of the problems below. These represent the types of questions on your test. Be sure to ask questions if you need help with the topic. So, the first box we have here is I can write and evaluate numerical expressions involving whole number exponents. So, what you're going to be doing is writing the answer to these problems. So if it's 5 to the third, you need to give me what 5 to the third equals. So it would be 5 times 5 times 5 equals blank. Okay? And the same is going to be said for 3 and 5. I want an answer here. I want to know what 14 squared is, and I want to know what 3 to the fourth is. Now in number 7, you're going to be writing your exponents in expanded form. If you don't remember what expanded form looks like, I have an example here in letter C. For number 8, you're going to write each expression in standard form. So they give you an example of expanded form here, and you have to write it in standard form. Remember, anything in pink is what you're going to write on your packet or cami. The next box here down, we have I can write expressions in which letters stand for numbers. So, for example, the product of a number and 18 is going to be 18 times n, because product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And anytime you see a number next to a letter, you have multiplication. Or, for example, in number 12, you have the sum of c squared and 14. So, you have c squared plus 14. For number 14, it says 5 times a number divided by 4. So we have 5 times a number divided by 4. And you guys will be doing 10, 11, and 13. On the next page, it says I can identify parts of an expression using mathematical terms. So we're going to label each of the parts of the expression below. So I did a couple of them for you, but you have to fill in the rest. So, for example, I did what is 5 to the third. I want to know what the 3 is in this term right here, but I did label the base for you. And I also labeled this as a term, but what I'm looking for here is what is this 4 called? And then what is an unknown number called? And what is this whole thing called? Which says it right here. Little hint. Next box down, it says I can evaluate expressions if j equals 3, k equals 6, and m equals 12. So I did go ahead and plug in those numbers for you. Because remember, if we are going to replace the variable and it tells us what it is, all we got to do is plug it in. So j is 3. So we have 2 times 3 squared minus 9. And you're going to be following your order of operations here. Now for number 17 was a little bit different for order of operations. You have to first distribute and then do your parentheses plus 5. For number 18, again, I replaced the numbers for you. So when it's written out, it looks like 3 times 6 plus 4 times 12 divided by 2. On the next box down, it says I can create equivalent expressions. So 22 says 4 students write algebraic expressions in their own whiteboards. Which of the students wrote equivalent expressions? So this one was a little bit hard, but what I like to do with these kinds of problems is assign the letters or the variables, right, numbers. And another way to think of this is which 2 students have the same answer. So you can plug in 2 for A, 3 for B, and 4 for C. Replace those with numbers, and whichever 2 students have the same answer will be the same 2 students who have equivalent expressions. So just find the 2 students who have the same answer after you replace A with number 2, B with 3, and C with 4. So you're just going to solve those problems. And then write who has the same answer. I crossed out number 3 and number 23 and number 24. For number 25, all right, you need to complete this table below. Now, I gave you some examples on previous lessons, right? So you need to go back, and if you don't remember what the commutative property of addition looks like, you can refer back to your other worksheets, and the same can be said for the rest of these properties. So on the next box down, it says I can perform arithmetic operations. So this is basically PEMDAS. So I rewrote some of these for you because this line really means division. So this whole top part is going to be divided by 7. So I did that right here. On the next one, I did start you off with the exponents inside the parentheses because we do need to do the parentheses first, right? But inside the parentheses, when we do it first, we have to do our exponents first. So 12 to the second is really 144. Now you guys will need to do this one on your own, number 28. And then on number 29 and 30, they want to know which operation in the second step of the problem below. So they want to know whether it is addition or subtraction, which operation is it? And for number 30, which operation is performed in the second step of the problem below? So again, they want to know basically whether it is addition or subtraction or multiplication or division, whichever one you think. All right, it's not going to be the first one you do. It's not going to be the first step you do or whatever would come first in PEMDAS. It's going to be the second step. On the next box down, it says I can identify when two expressions are equivalent. So really, we're just going to be using our distributive property here. So use your distributive property and write a new expression here. So for example, 8 times 4x should give me a number in x plus whatever 8 times 9 is. And you can go back and look at the distributive property lesson. It was a really informative video on how to do the distributive property. So if you need to go back and check that one out, you can do that. And the last part here says I can use variables to represent numbers and write expressions when solving real-world problems. So I crossed out the majority of them here, but I do want you to try number 37. It says it costs $50 to join a gym plus $28 per month. So you have to write an expression here. So for example, it costs $50 to join a gym, and then it's going to be plus 28. Now what do we not know? We don't know how many months we're going to be doing the gym for. But we do know that it's going to be $28 for every month. So if we have 7 months, it'll end up being $28 times the 7 months plus the $50 to join the gym. All right, that is it for today. Everybody have a great day and stay safe.